I know that I'm driving into danger because I saw the phone calls that we just received. But I didn't know how it's going to look like. Behind her was a toddler, and they shot his head. So I'm sorry, but you don't see a head. And I couldn't imagine this evil that I'm witnessing. Unfortunately, honestly, by mistake, I entered Beeri. I remember that I sent my sister a voice message that if something, God forbidden, will happen to me, take care of Shoam and Tael, my daughters. I didn't even consider going back home.
Yeah. Welcome to the Israel Guys, where we believe that in a world of anti-Israel propaganda and Jew hatred, you should have a direct connection to the land and people of Israel. Guys, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our content. I'm not going to waste time because today's episode is very, very special. It's emotional and it's very compelling, and you don't want to miss this incredible story of a first responder who, instead of waiting for the scene to be safe, instead of running away from the Gaza border on October 7th, chose to put her life on the line by running directly into the line of fire to save the lives of people in Israel's south.
My name is Linor Attias. I'm a medic, a volunteer medic, but I'm also in charge for the international emergency operations. I think that this, career, how to manage emergency situations, just chose me because of my personal tragedy. During 2003, I lost my uncle, Emil, in a bombing attack in Jerusalem. And it was very chaotic. I felt helpless. I didn't know even how to start and begin and understand if Emil was there. And during the Shiva, a young boy just told us that he lost so many blood. He could be saved. Emil could be saved. He could still be with us today, raise 3 beautiful daughters. And I just, that moment, decided that I'm going to dedicate my life to save others, and I don't want to feel helpless again. Once I heard that United Hatorah accept everyone, even women, then I felt that I need to be part of this organization. I want to become a volunteer at United Hatorah. I took the training course of the medic, and since then, every call that I'm answering as a medic, I'm doing it for the neshama, for the soul of my uncle Emil.
A lot of people have heard of Magen David Adom, the government emergency service. A lot of people have also heard of United Hatorah, but just tell us a little bit about who United Hatorah is, and also how they're unique and how they specifically operate.
So we are the first responders. We will be there within 90 seconds. We will treat the patient, we'll stabilize him up until the ambulance will arrive. It will take between 10 to 20 minutes, depends where in Israel and when even, but sometimes 10 minutes is too late.
Right.
So the 90 seconds, this is our goal, and therefore we have this amount of over 7,000 volunteers spread all over Israel with the same equipment as ambulance have, except of the stretcher. Yeah. And we will stabilize whoever needs. We will be there helping and just save the person's life, and then the ambulance will take him to the hospital. We are just tracking the volunteers 24/7. The person that just near the accident will receive the call, and he will go treat the person and go back to his normal life. We don't need to take shifts. It's our just day-to-day routine to assist and to help people that we don't know. And except of the vehicles, which is very important, we have the technology, like Uber, right. The GPS technology that can track and locate the nearest volunteer.
So United Hatorah operates obviously in Israel, but they also operate around the world, and you specifically are the Deputy Director of International Emergency Operations. Tell us how they also help out in emergency disasters in other parts of the world and things that you've been involved in.
So United Hatorah know that we have enough expertise and the ability to go and assist around the world. I'm saying that this is the light of the nations. Our duty as Jewish is just to help and to be the light of the nations and just to create a better world. And Whenever something happened, like earthquakes, wars, floods, we know who is available to go there and assist, whether it's medic assistant or psychological assistant with our psychotrauma unit. We will be there within few hours. We have this protocol. Within 3 hours, we already in Ben Gurion Airport, flying wherever we need to go.
That's amazing.
With the satellite communication, all the equipment is ready and prepared. 3 hours, we will be on the plane, go wherever we need to be. I was part of the delegation, the GO team, when the war started in Ukraine. I was there on the first day when the war started. I saw the amount of the refugees just crossing by foot to Moldova in the snow, in the night, with hypothermia. And we just created this hospital field to treat them, and food and blankets. And then we had those rescue flights through Israel. I was there over 6 weeks. Then I was part of the delegation to the earthquake in Turkey. It was devastating. I saw so many bodies. And we used a lot of technology, drones with thermal camera, and we found signal of life, and we saved 15 people out from the rubble, which is a lot.
Right, yeah.
It is a lot. Then I just was the commander for the delegation to the earthquake in Morocco, in the middle of the Atlas Mountains, small villages. Everything was just collapsed there. We opened medical field to bring them, medicines and relief from the stress. And then we had October 7, which was...
Yeah, I want to talk about that. But it's just, I think people have no idea, because people see Israel and they think, oh, Israel has their own, that has plenty of their own, problems and things happening all the time here. But yet, not only is Israel as a nation and United Hatorah working to save lives and help people in emergency response inside Israel, but you're going to other nations. A lot of people would say, why go to Turkey? Turkey doesn't, have the best relations with Israel, but Israel's really, the Bible says, Israel will be a light to the nations, and that's what you're doing, which is just amazing.
I don't go there because there are Muslims who hate us. Yes, that's true. I go because I'm a Jewish, and I know that, for example, Ikra, she is a 7-year-old that we saved. If we weren't be there, she wasn't here today. And I know that this beautiful girl and her father that still reach out to me and say hello to me definitely changed their mind about the Jewish people and about the state of Israel. I know that when Ikra will be a grown-up woman, she will tell her kids and her grandsons how the Jewish people saved her from the rebels.
At the end of the day, it's saving life. It doesn't matter who or where or what, right?
I don't care who's going to save me when I need it. Yeah.
We'll continue with the rest of today's interview in just a second. The horrific Hamas massacre of over 1,200 Israelis on October 7th was not just an attack on the Jewish people. It was an attack on the Bible. As anti-Israel hatred spills into the streets worldwide, an unholy alliance of Islamic jihadists and anti-Bible woke progressives have united to wage war against God's word. Israel and the Jews are first, America and Christians are next. That's why my good friend Rabbi Elie Michel's new book, The War Against the Bible, Ishmael, Esau, and Israel at the End Times, is a must-read for every Bible believer. I'm currently in the middle of reading this book, and I can tell you, it's really good. Rabbi Michel takes a deep dive into the prophecies of the Bible to explain current events and humanity's rebellion against the one true God. This book will steel your resolve to fight for the Bible's truth and be watchmen for salvation who stand up to the lies in the darkness. Get your copy of The War Against the Bible today by clicking the link in the description below and join the fight for God, Israel, and for America. I want to talk about October 7th because it's the most horrific tragedy to happen to the Jewish people since the Holocaust. Tell us what happened that day from your perspective, and what was the response for United Hatorah?
So 6:30 a.m. as everyone here at United Hatorah, the commanders, I just received calls at my communication device that rockets being launched through Israel. And I'm saying to myself, okay, Saturday night, 6:30 a.m., no one in the streets. It's probably the jihad playing again with the buttons, and it's like nothing.
Nothing unusual.
Yeah, the Iron Dome will manage that. I'm going back to sleep. But then another, call and another call and another call and another call. The dispatch just launched calls about the rockets, and I'm saying, okay, I'm starting to count the minutes and the seconds between every launch because I know that Hamas have the ability to launch very fast rather than the jihad. Mm-hmm. And now I understand that we are speaking about an operation that Hamas started. Right. 6:30, so early in the morning, when we don't have these pictures of people just running all over to the shelters, people still at home, they start in something else. So I call my sister, Liat. I ask her just to come and be with the kids, Shoam and Tahel, and put in my IDF uniforms because I'm still doing my reserve service at the Emergency National Authority, and they might call me, but I'm coming here. Over here, we are starting to establish and to understand better the situations from 3 different type of calls. The first one is the volunteers already living in the south, telling us that there is terrorists in the streets, shooting everyone that going to the synagogue. The second one is from the police and MADA that their dispatch center just collapsed, and they ask us if we are able to receive calls from citizens and what kind of information we are gathering.
Right.
And the third one, from the citizens. They shoot my father. They shoot my girl. Come and help me. Please save us. We're at the festival. Please help us. Early morning, I just received a WhatsApp call from my friend at the IDF, and she tell me, Linor, 2 kids just hiding in the closet. Can you help them? And I told her, sure, just give me the number. And I just know that we might not just be there, so I moved the phone call to Dr. Tamar Schlesinger. She's from our psychotrauma unit.
All right.
And she was just holding a over 12 hours call with Michael and Amalia, a brother and a sister who saw their father and mother being murdered and was hiding in the closet. And the thought that Abigail, their young sister, was also being murdered after we understood that she was kidnapped to Gaza, and thank God she came back. I just made a decision that I'm going to take the vehicle that hold all the equipment to open a hospital field. I'm driving to our warehouse and ask them just put everything we can. I need generators. I need stretchers. Do we still have body bags from the earthquake in Turkey? And they said me, yeah, we have plenty. So I put everything, adults, kids, all the body bags that we have, just throw them inside the vehicle. And I'm going down south.
Did you know that when you made the decision to drive south, did you know that you were driving into danger?
Yes, definitely. I know that I'm driving into danger because I saw the phone calls that we just received. But I didn't know how it's going to look like. So when I enter down south, the first thing that I still remember is car on fires. And I just look all over. Maybe someone was just managed to run away and we can save him, but I didn't find no one. I remember that a woman, she was driving her car, but they shot her head. And, all over was just blood, and behind her was a toddler, and they shot his head. So I'm sorry, but you don't see a head. Yeah. And I couldn't imagine this evil that I'm witnessing. I just start to make the connections with the IDF. I asked them, tell us where you need us, what's going on inside the cities. And they just told me that no one can enter any city. They still fighting at the gates of each city, at the enter of each city. So that moment as a commander, to tell the volunteers in Sderot, in Netivot, in Ofakim, you're all by yourself. We cannot bring you equipment. We cannot enter with ambulances. Please be safe. You need to be under the control of the police, which are still fighting inside the city, but you cannot get out. No one can just go in and out. It's very hard. It's very hard moment to tell them, please be safe and we cannot help you.
And then what happened after that?
I was focusing together with the IDF on the rescue from the kibbutzim.
Okay.
So we established few points at the kibbutzim. I was in charge on the area of Beeri, Saad, Shuva. I just established a triage field over there. Unfortunately, honestly, by mistake, I entered Beeri. I just, one of the commanders asked if we can just come to the yellow gate of Beeri, and I told him, what are you talking about? They're still fighting, like it was afternoon already, and I understand the situation well, and what are you talking about? It's dangerous to go near Beeri. You have terrorists all over Beeri. And he was telling me, yeah, but we have like a golden time that we just push the terrorists back to the back line of the houses in the kibbutz. And I just can't bring outside right now people who survived, injured people who survived with the IDF protective cars. And if you guys going to wait with your ambulances at the yellow gate, it will be much more faster, rather than I need to go all over and go back.
So it's like a pause in the fighting.
Yeah. So I told him, okay, after you. And I just, I asked Weizmann, one of our medic, I told him, you stop driving the ambulance. I need you to be the commander of the yellow gate in Beeri. You're going to be in charge and to tell us how many ambulances you need us to send. And I'm coming to meet you there. And I just jumped at the IDF car, and he entered the kibbutz. Now, it wasn't look like what she's doing here because I was wearing my IDF uniform. So I entered Beeri while you still heard the shootings all over. You hear the missiles and the Iron Dome exploding the missiles above your head. You hear RPGs, grenades, the whistles of different kind of guns. We were shouting each other. You cannot hear nothing.
Inside the Jeep.
Inside the kibbutz. I just went outside the Jeep to see if anyone, if I can just pull out anyone.
To extract or rescue someone, yeah.
The houses on fire. You feel the toxic in the air. It was like a freak video game.
But real.
But real. I didn't feel nothing. I was a robot. That moment, I was just shouting commands. They were shouting, I have an injured soldier. So I ran over. He's been shot in his stomach, arm and leg. I just immediately put bandages at the hole of his stomach, stopped the bleeding in his leg. He was unconscious.
So you went into Beeri thinking that we're just putting people on ambulances, and you ended up
I ended up in the middle of the fighting, together with the crew of the IDF, a special unit at the IDF, and we just took the soldier, and then I remember that we found a boy. He was okay, but he was like in shock. He didn't move. He was like a stolen rocket. I don't know how to explain that. He didn't move, and all he was saying was, ההורים שלי מתו. My parents died, my parents has died, my parents died, my parents died. He didn't even breathe in between.
Yeah.
And at the psychotrauma unit, we learned how to release people in that kind of situation, but it takes times. So, and I don't have the time right now. So I just told the soldiers, take him and put him in the vehicle.
Yeah.
Like, we don't treat him right now. And we just took him, and he was still at the same shape in the Jeep. He didn't even sit. He couldn't sit. He was locked down. And he was...
Like he was paralyzed almost.
Yeah, he was paralyzed. And while I'm treating the soldier and asking for a helicopter, he was continue and you know, repeating these two words. It was an unreal situation. The moment that, as an Israeli, as a soldier, that you need to cut with scissors IDF uniforms, you feel humiliating. And
Defeated.
you feel defeated, you feel helpless. And I promised myself that I never going to feel helpless again. And so many casualties, so many situations that we needed to decide very fast how we can save him. And we don't know. We don't know if he's going to survive the road because we don't have helicopter that is available. We don't know if he's going to survive in a private car because we don't have enough ambulances.
Right.
Those kind of decisions.
Even some of the roads, like you didn't know which roads were safe to drive, right?
We knew that it's not safe.
Yeah.
I knew that it's not safe. We had situations that terrorists just shoot through us and the IDF was fighting back. And I remember that I sent my sister a voice message that if something, God forbidden, will happen to me, take care of Shoam and Tael, my daughters. I didn't even consider going back home.
Yeah.
I was there doing my best to save as many people as I can with the protocols that I created, with the triage field that I established, and, you know, with my hands that I was just treating someone.
And how long from the time you went down on Saturday morning, right, to the, like, how long were you there and your team is there?
Around 2:30 a.m.
The next day.
The next day, in the middle of the night, between Saturday to Sunday, I was saying to myself, wait a second, now we have more teams over here. I need to go back to Jerusalem to arrange everything because I understand that I need to be here.
Yeah.
So I need a few moments for myself and my daughters. And they were terrified. For me, they saw me and they were just more relaxed. And Shoam told me that the brother of her friend from class have been injured and the helicopter took him to the hospital and he's still in surgery room and all the classroom just praying Tehillim all overnight. And I was like, wait a second, you speak about Daniel, the brother of Liam, and she would say, yeah, Daniel, the son of Racheli, and she said, yes, what's going on with you? And I told her, I treat him inside Beeri. He was unconscious, looked familiar, but you don't have time to understand why he looked familiar. And this is the son of my best friend that we just grew up, and now our kids growing up together. And he's saved, thank God. Daniel is okay, he's safe. it's unreal. So the morning I just came back. My commander at the IDF asked me to come, and I told him we're still fighting.
Yeah.
We still need to save people's life, and I'm going back down south. When we finish with that situation and we start to evacuate all the population, then I'm going to be at my IDF reserve service, and obviously understood saving life is the first efforts of every nation.
It's amazing. I think it's hard for people to understand, but hearing the personal stories, seeing the footage, we've gone to Beeri and shown the footage and stuff, helps people to understand a little bit. But is there a message for the world, that's been watching Israel for the last year now? Like what would your message be? What would you say?
I totally believe that 2024, we should have learned already how to solve conflicts.
Yeah.
This is not a way to solve conflicts. And it's very hard for me to see the people who doesn't even understand the conflict and creating propagandas against, and think that we just, it's our imagination, and they didn't hurt us, rape us, tortured. They did all of that. I saw that. And everyone that was there saw that. And no one can tell me that I'm just imagine everything. It's not right, and it's not the right way to even start a conversation about a conflict.
Right.
Thank you for telling your story. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
I want to just mention that if it wasn't kind people to support United Hatzalah, I wasn't standing here right now. I couldn't save people. Everything just came from donations.
Yeah.
And people who support the mission of saving lives, regardless religious, race, or anything, or color, And it's a beautiful bridge that we can build together. And I just want people to continue in supporting us.
Guys, thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe. And if you want to find out more about United Hatzalah, the incredible organization that Linor works for, we put their website down in the link in the description below. Also, make sure you pick up a copy of The War Against the Bible, also linked down in the description below. As always, tune out the lies and propaganda and tune into the truth of what's actually happening in Israel. We'll be back soon here at the Israel Guys.